come on in, come on in. Grab seats down here. Come on, grab seats down here. So again, there's going to be a lot of opportunities today for you to take action. And the market only pays you for taking action. The market doesn't care what your background is. The market is the great equalizer. Doesn't care anything. As long as you take action, the more action you take, the more rewards you get. Just like in life.
How are you? How's you not been gone? I said, I'm not that type of guy, you know.
I will be sharing your strategies, I'll be sharing your ideas, I'll be sharing your trade tips and everything. But if you don't have the proper qualities inbuilt in you, if you don't have the discipline to do what it takes every single day, then forget it, you will never achieve success. What is primary is this. What you have here will relate to what you actually achieve in life. Not just in short term, but in the long term.
This is an award for like 1,000 USD in a single trade. Yeah, so this is an award that I got today. I achieved this award within about 15 days into my trading.
The one for you. How could you make me feel so good?
This is the first person in our community to officially get this award, and this award is going to Bernard Kaur. $100,000, brother. Come. But Bernard, how can people get this award?
Be thick-skinned. I always say the same thing. You don't know, you ask. Number two, be disciplined. Discipline meaning that you need to set a schedule. On a weekly basis, this is a time I'm going to spend on learning about crypto. Not about when you wake up, you feel tired, I'm not going to open up my laptop. Third thing is having the right mindset. Meaning that being positive, learn whatever you can, mix with the right people, and grow at your own pace. And I always say that trading, the objective of trading is actually to make money.
I like it that you share a lot of tips that is not really discussed in other areas, like for example trades from like maybe the Solana, and the potential that those non-directive kind of trades that we can potential to actually be the next Solana that can burst up like few thousand%. That's something that I like.
You know that you are not alone, so you come here, you can feel the energy. So when you go back, you will not lose the steam.
It just actually basically opened my exposure. I feel really great. The energy and the ambience here is really different.
I just won the 1,000 USDT in one trade. And what I love about live events is to talk to fellow traders, talk about their trades, talk about life.
Alright, okay, so I also won the 1,000 USDT in a trade award. So basically what I like about the live events is to really catch up with friends within the community and make new friends from these live events.
So I won the 1,000 USDT per trade award. And the live events, just 4 words, yeah? Very inspiring and very energizing.
So I won the $1,000 USDT trade, the single trade award. The live event adds a lot of realism. I mean, a lot of it, people might think it's all fake, but here you're meeting real people and you have a network where people can share their strategies and share their ideas with you. And the best of all, you've access to the coaches live. You can go and talk to them, talk to real people and coaches, and just learn more.
Hi, I won the 1,000 USDT in a trade award. What I like about coming to the live event is meeting other traders and just sharing and getting to know people and picking up tips.
Are we live, guys? We are live. I believe we are live. If you are tuning in, if you can hear me, if you can see me, please type in hello in the chat. If you guys can hear me, if you guys can see me. Sorry, JC, I'm gonna be messaging you. Please do reply. Are we live? Oh, okay, awesome, fantastic. Edison, what's good? Edison, Andros, Jaya. All right, okay, fantastic. We are live. We are live. We are ready. We are good to go. Okay, fantastic. Hi, Grandma. Hi, Malini. Good to see you all. Okay, guys, fantastic. We are live. I am good to go. I'm ready. I'm excited, guys. Today, welcome to our live market update AMA session. Today is going to be pretty exciting. Actually, I have some very, very big major updates with regards to my portfolio to share with you guys, right? So today, we're not just going to analyze the portfolio, as in, we're not just going to analyze coins and stuff, but I want to share with you guys some major updates that I have and some big moves that I made as of yesterday. Okay, so I made some very, very big moves yesterday. I'm talking about six-figure moves that I made yesterday. And today I'm going to share them with you, right? So if you guys are excited to know what are some of these big moves that I made personally on my own portfolio, please type in E for excited. Type in the letter E for excited. If you guys want to know, if you guys want to learn, I'm going to share with you guys exactly what I did as early as yesterday, right? So again, type in E in the chat if you guys are excited. So I'm going to share with you all. So I hope you guys are ready. Let's go. Okay. So the update very simply is this: next week is an absolutely crucial week in the financial markets, and the reason why is because of this one reason, right? So let me just share with you guys the reason, and I'm going to share my screen right now. All right. So the reason why next week is very, very big is because of this one news, right? I think many of you guys will know that there was this entire tariff situation that actually happened, right? There was this huge tariff that actually happened. The markets dropped like crazy. And then what happened was Donald Trump actually said that there will be a 90-day pause. Okay, so he actually mentioned this in April, that there will be a 90-day pause. And my friends, that 90 days actually ends on July 9th. Right? So I'm just going to read this to you. The tariffs taking effect July 9th are part of a package Trump imposed in April, citing a lack of reciprocity in trading ties. Right? So in April, they did a 90-day pause. Right? So very simply, there was a pause. Everything was actually reduced. And then he said 90 days later, we will actually review. And if we don't come to an agreement, all of you all will go back to the previous rates that were actually being charged, right? So this is actually happening July 9th. Can all of you all type in the chat? I don't know exactly, but which day is it? July 9th is what day? July 9th is what day? All right, let's see. July 9th is which day? July 9th is on next Wednesday, right? So next Wednesday is basically what's up, right? So let's read this together. He slapped a 10% levy on most partners with higher customized rates to begin later in countries United States had major trade deficits with, but these were all halted until July to allow room for negotiations. Analysts expect countries to encounter one of three outcomes: they could reach a framework of agreement, receive an extended pause on tariffs, or levies will surge. All right. So again, there will be a group of deals that will land before July 9th. That's what Treasury Sec Scott Bessent said on Friday. But these policymakers have not named any countries. All right. So again, they say that Vietnam, India, Taiwan remain promising candidates for a deal, and yada yada yada. Without a deal, Vietnam's reciprocal tariffs rises from a baseline of 10% to 46%. Right. India's to 26% and Taiwan's 32%. Right. So again, if they do not agree on a deal by next week, these tariff rates can increase tremendously. All right. So this is basically what is a very, very big news with regards to next week. So again, what I want to share very simply is next week, do expect volatility. Okay. In my personal point of view, number one, if for whatever reason countries cannot come to an agreement and let's say majority of countries and Trump says, you know what, let's all just increase the tariffs on these countries effective immediately, you know, the markets might tank again, right? So that might happen. If there happens to be some peace and some negotiations and the majority of countries are all okay, then the markets might happen to really shoot up and fly, right? But again, which way it will go, we don't know. What I can tell you is that there will very likely be very big volatility. Okay, so that's basically what's going to happen, and this is basically due next Wednesday. All right. So so how, right? So at the end of the day, you know, what will happen on Wednesday, whether markets will fly or come down, for example. I wish I had a crystal ball, but I can tell you that I don't, right? So at the end of the day, the only thing I can do is manage my portfolio, look at risk management and see whether it's good to enter, not good to enter, and whatever not, right? So I just want to share with you guys what I have done personally in my portfolio. And again, guys, this is not financial advice. This is just my own personal opinion, and this is basically what I'm doing myself. Okay, so I hope you guys don't mind, but I just want to share with you all what I did myself. And basically, what I've done myself is this, right? So as of yesterday, if you all actually have a look, right? If you all actually have a look, this is basically Bitcoin. As of yesterday, we are nearing all-time highs, right? As of yesterday, currently right now we're at 108.8. But yesterday, I think we hit 110,000 or whatever, which is pretty much resist. Is this support or resistance levels, guys? Is this support or resistance levels? Can you all type in the chat for me? Hey, sorry, am I sharing my screen? Yes, I'm sharing my screen. Okay, cool. Is this support or resistance levels? This is, yes, very clearly resistance levels, right? So this is where we're at with regards to Bitcoin, right? I'm not talking about other coins. I'm talking about the main one, Bitcoin. And if I look at the S&P 500, right? So this is the US index, right? The US indexes, bro, right? Ever since the 90-day pause was announced, the market literally did a V-shaped recovery, and it's been absolutely crazy, right? Like yesterday, we did, you know, the US market has broken all-time highs, and it's broken. This is the all-time highs. It's broken it, and freaking yesterday when I was, you know, trading the markets, it gapped up even further. You all can see the S&P 500 literally gapped up, right? From the April lows, we have gone up nearly about 29 to 30%, you guys. It's insane, right? So can I ask you a question? When anything flies up too much, too fast, what typically happens? Can you all make a guess? When anything flies up too hard, too fast, and this is no joke, I'm telling you all from experience, right? In 3 months, for the entire index to go up 30%, it's not normal. I can just tell you all, it's really not normal, right? Literally, for it to go up 30% in the last 3 months in 90 days, it's not normal, right? But when anything flies up too hard, too fast, what will typically happen, my friends? Can you type in the chat so I can see? Right. I'm just gonna do something so I can see the comments on my phone as well. Give me 2 seconds. No, forget it. Right? Let me just see on the chat here. Right? Yes. Right. So again, whenever something actually goes up a little bit too much, too fast, too quickly, it will very, very likely come back down fast. Right? And I just want to share with you guys one more piece of data. Right? Just one more piece of data. And this is just facts. I'm sharing your facts. Right? And what are some other facts that I want to share with you guys? If you all have a look at the fear and greed index, right? So I think you guys will be familiar with the fear and greed index, right? This is the US markets fear and greed index, all right? With regards to extreme fear, whether we are neutral, greed, or where are we currently right now? Right, where are we currently right now? We are at, my friends, we are at this point of extreme greed. We are currently right now at this point of extreme greed. Do you all see that? Right. So again, if I look at overall markets, BTC is at BTC is at all-time highs. The Nasdaq is at all-time highs. The S&P 500 is at all-time highs. Many of the indexes around the world are all at all-time highs. We are literally sitting at extreme greed. So just to cut to the point, right? What did I do personally, right? I personally, can you all make a guess? What do you all think what my big move was yesterday? Right? What do you all think my big move was yesterday? Make a guess. Right? My big move that I made yesterday, I looked at it, 110 plus. I see what allowed QQQ fly up so much, freaking gap up and everything. Right? My big move yesterday. Can somebody make a guess what do you all think my big move was? Right, my very big move was I sold, right? I took some profits off the table, right? I basically placed big sell orders, right? Very simply, why? Because I just feel comfortable to kind of just be in cash a bit, right? Again, the formula is very, very simple, right? I was shopping like crazy, right? If you're elite, you're following me, I was telling you all I was buying. Like I just kept buying on the way down. I made a huge chunk of money, like, during this period of time, I was shopping literally, personally in the hundreds of thousands of dollars in April, right? And that has really paid off for me. Right now, again, there's two reasons why. Number one is because next week is very uncertain, right? Next week, we don't know, right? If, let's say, for example, the tariff entire situation is not good, there's a chance that we can actually see a retracement, right? There's a very, 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 very big technical news that might cause the markets to drop, right? And obviously, number two is there is extreme greed, right, in the markets. And whenever there's extreme greed, I don't want to be too crazy to keep buying, for example. I'd rather stay off. Let me wait for a very big drop before I enter again, right? So again, guys, just to explain my own personal point of view, for me, I am more of I love blood, right? I enter when there's a lot of blood, right? I don't get very excited to trade breakouts and stuff like that. That's not my style. My style of trading is I enter very, very big whenever there's very big drops in the market, right? So that's generally my style of trading. So right now, when I see all this 20-30% up in 3 months, for example, hey man, chill, relax, I take off, right? Why? Because this is not normal, right? Markets don't move up so fast, so quickly. It's not normal. So I'm just taking off my profits and very simply just waiting for the next drop, right? And who knows, it might very well happen next week if the trade, the entire agreements don't go very well, right? So that's just something that I want to share, right? So again, can I be wrong? Sure, I might be very wrong, right? Like next week, the markets might fly up even higher. And if it does, great, right? And if it does, great. Why is it great? It's because I'm not selling everything, right? I never ever put myself in a situation where I'm completely out of the markets. There are times where I will sell and be majority in cash. There will be times where, I'm fully invested. But again, for me, I'm not selling everything. I sold quite a bit of my positions. I would say nearly about 40% of my positions I sold back in cash. But if it flies up even more, great. I will still be making money. But if it does drop, fantastic. Why? Because now everything's in cash. Then I can use to redeploy if it comes down to a good level. Am I clear, guys? Type in C if you all understand. Type in C if that's clear, if you all understand. Right, please let me see in the chat if you guys understand what I'm trying to say, right? So again, this is basically what I've done, right? Would I recommend you all to do the same? I don't know, right? This is dependent on your own situation, but I'm just looking at where the markets are, right? Everything's all-time highs. Okay, take profit first, chill, relax, right? Wait for another good drop, retracement before I actually enter again, right? Like this kind of drop, this kind of increases is pretty insane, right? It honestly doesn't move like this. This is literally a vertical climb, Wow, I look at QQQ, like from April lows, this is 90 days, you have 37% increase. Nali, crazy, absolutely nuts. How is it possible that, again, generally, not say how is it possible, it's happening right now, right? But for real, right? Like if I take the lowest of the low, right? Take the lowest of the low, this is literally 80 days of 36% gain, right? That basically means a 90 days 36% gain means you are increasing the Nasdaq increases 12% a month. This is the entire index, the entire all the companies combined in the world, 12% a month. Do you all think that's a little bit too fast, too quick, guys? What do you all think? Can you all type in the chat? 12% a month on the index, not on individual company, on the entire index, which means it's a basket of 100 companies in the world for the Nasdaq. Do you all think that is a little bit too fast, too quick? Type in yes in the chat if you all think that's a little bit too fast and too quick, right? If you all think that's a little bit, like when I show you all this, how many of you all feel is, it feels a little bit too fast, too quick? I don't know about you, but I definitely feel so, right? From my experience, this is the kind of gain that you see maybe in 2 years. But this one you see in 3 months. Quite insane. But anyways, right? So that's the reason why I'm layering off, I'm laddering off, and I'm selling some. Okay. The next big update that I want to share, right? So sorry, hold on. From whatever I'm sharing, guys, are you all? Let me come back to my screen so I can see you. Are you all learning something? Right? Yes, please let me yes in chat if you guys are learning something. I still haven't finished my big updates, but I still need to update more things. Right? Please let me yes in chat if you guys are learning and getting some good valuable information. Right? Currently, right now, I'm just sharing with regards to what I'm doing in the markets. But if this has been useful so far, if you all have learned something, please let me yes. Andros, fantastic. Edison, great. Okay. So the next very, very big update is with regards to this next situation. Okay, and this is also another very big cause for concern. Guys, I know there are people from all over the world. Can you please type in the chat where you guys are from? Can I know where you guys are from? If you're from Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, India, all right, where you guys are from? Let me see. Listen, it's good to see you, brother. Your chance to buy the discounts might come next week, bro. Potong Pasir, fantastic. Singapore, Malaysia, Singapore, SG, Malaysia. Okay, that's great. Melbourne, Adrian, that's good. Still waiting, brother. Patience is key, bro. Don't need to rush, relax. The thing is flying, you wait first. Wait for it to come back down to the ground. Well, confirm kena one. Okay. So let me show you all the next big thing. So I see majority of you all are from Singapore, Malaysia. I see some from Australia. Adrian, good to see you, brother. Okay, so let me just share my screen again once more. And if I can share my screen one more time, another very big kind of cause of concern, and I shared this yesterday with some of the elites, right, is very simply to do with this, right? It's to do with our US dollar against our Singapore dollar, right? So the US dollar has been dropping, right? The US dollar, if you all haven't noticed, has been dropping, right? And I have something that I'm actually a little bit worried about, all right? So if I look from a technical standpoint, right? If I look at from a technical standpoint, guys, right? This this level, right? Technically was always a very, this 1.3 level was always a very strong support. It broke down. There's another major support, and it also broke that as well, right? So as of very, very recently, in terms of from a technical standpoint, right, the US dollar, I think if you guys have been following, has been dropping, and as of, if you all can see, as of last week, as of the last 2 weeks, it actually broke down below even the key support level, which was 1.28, right? So currently, right now, we are sitting at 1.2742, which is kind of shit, right? Like it's broken the key support level, which is to me a cause of concern, right? So from a technical standpoint, right? From a technical standpoint, this is definitely a breakdown. Okay, this is definitely a breakdown, and this is the US dollar dropping, right? So you know, there's a lot of different talks with regards to what's going to happen to the US dollar. Is it going to devalue even more and stuff, right? So, you know, you might read about different theories, right? I've heard a bunch of theories myself. I can share with you that some of the people that I really, really do respect, right? Like, you know, people, I have a mentor who's a $1 billion fund manager. You know, I recently spoke to Jeremy Tan, who, if you all remember, he ran for independent candidate in Singapore elections, who is known as Mr. Inchik Bitcoin, right? And many of these guys have this opinion for some reason that the US dollar will continue dropping, right? I've even heard some of these guys sharing that they feel that USD SGD might drop even to $1 to $1, right? That US dollar will drop as a comparison to SGD to as in 1 to 1. Can you imagine? How many of y'all think that might be a possibility? Type in yes, or if you think no way, type in no way, right? Again, all of this is opinion. Whether it happens or not, you know, who knows? But again, if you all think that might be a possibility, type in yes. If you all think there's no chance, no way, type in no way in the chat. All right, I need to see this. I want to see the comments. If you all think that's a possibility, type in yes. If you all think there's no way, type in no way. Wow, I see some people typing in yes with a capital Y yes. Come on, guys. I want to see more comments. All right. So I want to show you all this one article. Let me just so even this was I don't know if you all can actually let me just share my screen with you guys so you guys can actually see. So Edison saying eventually Pinky and Brownie saying no way, right? So who are these people who are actually saying this, right? There are people who are saying this who are, have a look. This is an article by the chief economist at Bank of Singapore, right? So this isn't this guy is definitely smarter than me, I think, right? And yeah, right, like there are big analysts, huge people who are saying that this is actually a possibility. US dollar $1 to Singapore dollar $1 could happen in a lifetime, says chief economist at Bank of Singapore. Right, US dollar continue weaken against Singapore dollar in the coming month, and forex researchers predicting how much further greenback could slide. Let's see. Singapore dollar strengthened 5.8% against US dollar so far in the first 5 months. Singapore dollar is currently trading at 1.29 against the US dollar. Maybank expects currency pair to be at 1.28 in the third quarter and 1.265 in the fourth quarter. CNA reports. Right. Yeah, man. Have a look. Right. So Mansoor Modi Yudin, Chief Economic Bank of Singapore, went as far to predict that parity between two countries could be $1 to $1. Right, interesting. All right, Mansoor had noted that Swiss franc hit parity US dollar after crisis, represented over decades against the greenback. Was also noted. Mansoor added that both Switzerland, right. So why is it weakening? US dollar is weakened due to tariffs and expected, weaker economic growth. Singapore stability, strong climate, countries see more attractive options as an alternative US dollar, right? Right. So this is what they're saying, right? So, anyways, this is something that's a cause of concern, right? And in terms of from a technical standpoint, if I look from a TA standpoint, has this broken below support? Yes or no, guys? Type in the chat for me. Right, from a technical TA standpoint, right? Has this broken below support levels? Yes or no? The answer is, from a technical standpoint, has it broken support? Right. It has actually. And again, to be honest, do I want the US dollar to go down? No, I don't want the US dollar to go down, right? And the reason why I don't want the US dollar to go down is because my investments are US dollars, right? Like, would I want to, do I wish that the US dollar will drop further? Actually, not really, right? I don't really wish for US dollar to drop further. You ask me honestly, objectively, the answer is no, right? The majority of my investments are all in US. I don't know about you, right? If you're trading crypto, then everything is in USD, right? So that's basically one, right? So again, if the US dollar drops, then the value of our investments, if you're having US dollar based investments, that also drops, right? So if our US dollar drops 20%, 10%, for example, then you make money, also you technically lose money, right? If you're Singaporean at least. So again, that's a cause for concern. So what am I doing personally? The answer is very simple, right? So when I sold and took my profits yesterday, right? Not only did I sell and take my profits, can you all guess what's the next step that I did? Not only did I sell and take my profits in USD, what's the next step that I did? Make a wild guess. Yeah, we're too smart to know, but make a wild guess. What do you all think I did? I de-risked to what? I basically sold in USD and basically sold to and converted to SGD lah, basically, right? So I didn't just keep it in US dollars to later, possibly see depreciate even further, right? It is back in Singapore dollars, right? So again, if USD continues to drop against the SGD, then great. At least, my dollar doesn't lose value, right? So that's one of the most basic things that I did, right? So again, let's say, for example, if you are trading, you are making USDT profits. Let's say you trade, wow, okay, great. Really made $100, really made $200, or whatever it is. Something to consider doing maybe is to not just de-risk, but de-risk back into SGD, for example, which, at least you don't lose value, right? So that might make sense. And of course, if you want to de-risk, there are many different ways you can go about doing it, right? If you're trading on crypto, like many of you guys are, you can always de-risk into, I've mentioned before about D-card. If you guys are not unaware of D-card, D-card is very simply, your Diners Club card, which actually has launched together with Visa. This is something that I use every time I make profits. I always de-risk my crypto profits into my D-card, and that's where I use, this is what I use to basically spend my money and stuff, right? So everything in my life is basically paid for by crypto, and all my money and all my profits I make from crypto, I basically, I take the profits and I just transfer it to my Diners Club card, which is registered license card, right? So basically, it's a card which is, licensed by MAS. It also is in collaboration with Visa, and your money is basically stored in a digital DBS account, right? So if you guys know about this, I mentioned this before, I believe, but if you don't know about it, you guys can actually open a D-card. It's completely free for any of you guys to open, and think about it, it's just basically a crypto wallet, right? It's a crypto wallet that you use to spend, right? It's a crypto Visa card, right? So again, completely free with the best rates, as well, right? So again, if you guys have already got it, fantastic. If you haven't got it, I think Jesse will post the link in the chat. You guys can just go and open, and get a card yourself as well, right? So Jesse, if you post a link, that'd be great. All right. So that's something else that I just want to share with you guys about. This is something that's cause for concern. Right? Will it recover? Will it continue to go down? I think over time it will go down, right? Which is also the reason why, guys, which I just want to share with you guys, which is also the reason why Michael Saylor is very, 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 very bullish about Bitcoin, right? Because ultimately, to him, the ultimate hedge to the dollar, which will continue to drop, in his opinion, right? Again, according to not according to him, but according to real statistics, if you look at inflation, the US dollar since 1930 has lost 95% of its value, and that's the best currency in the world, right? So the US dollar being the best currency in the world, to be honest, has been going down and down. And if you count for inflation, it's lost 95% of its value, right? So again, and they can afford to print money like crazy. They can have crazy amounts of debt that they will never ever pay back, right? And ultimately, the ultimate hedge against that is Bitcoin, right? All roads will lead to Bitcoin, and that's the reason why he saves his money not in dollars but in BTC. All right. So that's basically another reason why. And again, for me personally, that's what I do, right? I just stack more BTC over time as well. I really do believe in that theory and that conviction, right? So that's basically what I'm doing, right? So that's basically what I have, right? So I have a lot more BTC that I actually have, and that is proving to be a better hedge against the US dollar, right? So again, if the US dollar is dropping, funds, institutions, they will all think of the same thing. Number one, where do I put my money now, right? If I have US dollar-based investments, I need to hedge my currencies. Where do I put it in, right? So that will lead to possible even further selling of USD to put it to other currencies and other alternatives, right? The other alternatives might be the stronger currencies that are performing well, right? SGD being one of them, right? And of course, another alternative would be digital gold, which will be BTC, right? So over time, will BTC increase? I really truly believe so, right? So over time, all roads will lead to Bitcoin, right? So that's something to always remember, right? So yeah, you can. For me personally, I sold my USD. I converted to SGD, and the reason why is because BTC at all-time highs. I don't want to go and buy currently right now. If I see a little bit more of a retracement, then I'll definitely consider again, right? For me, my buying price will be. Let's see, right? Let me show you all, right? So this next thing I want to show you all is to do with CoinGlass, right? So there's this website called CoinGlass. I'm going to share this link with you guys in the chat, so you guys can see this link. Alamak, I can't share this in the link, but anyways, I'm sorry, but this is CoinGlass. So what do I use CoinGlass for? CoinGlass is absolutely amazing, right? It shows me all this data with regards to Bitcoin, Ethereum, where are some major sell orders, buy orders and stuff. right? But I'm going to explain to you all very, very simply. This is the entire orders across the world, right? With regards to where they are placing the orders and where there are massively huge orders that can be seen in the markets, right? So if you all actually have a look at this screen currently right now, this is the entire world's order depth, right? So this is what we call an order book, right? So this is the order book for BTC. So essentially, this is the prices at which people are actually buying and selling BTC, right? So where are people putting in the orders? Where are people putting in their, buy orders and sell orders, right? So if you actually have a look at the order book currently right now, have a look and watch for the very big lines, right? So if you guys see very, very big lines, this is basically where there might be very big buying orders, right? So there are very big buying orders. So on the green side, they're all the buy orders. So can you make a guess? The red color is the what orders? The red color is what orders? Right? If the green are your buy orders, your red color is your what orders? If your buy is your green orders, your red is your sell orders, right? And if anybody can see, you can see the biggest sell order, right, is roughly around what price? There's very, very, very big sell order. That's why yesterday we came and then we came back down. Why? Because they are massive. The biggest order currently right now, order book, is pretty much at around 110,000. Do you all see that? Right? So 110,000, roughly one very big sell order here, $110,380, and you can see another big sell order at $110,710, right? So roughly around 110 to 111,000. Do you all follow? Right? So this order book is showing us that there is a very, very big resistance levels right around here at 110 to 111,000, right? And very simply, this is where, again, there's a lot of selling orders that's actually happening. This is actual facts from the order book with regards to what's happening right now in the market, right? So very simply, it's resistance, right? This is the price where people are looking to sell. And unless, and of course, we actually break up above, right? And if the daily chart actually does close above 112, next week, or, if anything, if the news is positive and it actually closes above 112, then we can really see some buying. But if not, there's going to be huge resistance exactly at this price. Are you all clear, guys? Type in C in the chat if you all can understand. If you all are clear with regards to what I said, type in C in the chat. Please type in C in the chat if you all understand. Right, I'm going to give you all part 2 to the explanation. So I want you to listen very carefully. Right? No, this data is not used for intraday. This data can be used for, this data is for daily, for a longer term point of view, bro. Okay, so let me explain a little bit more clearly with regards to this data and how I use it, right? So for me personally right now, right, if I want to go and buy, right, I will be looking to long when BTC's price is somewhere around here, right? When Bitcoin is somewhere around here, this is when I will look to go and buy, right? So I will only look to buy, listen carefully, guys. I will only look to buy at 2 areas currently right now. Okay, 2 areas. Number one, I will look to go and buy, right? Let's say, for example, I'm looking to long. I will look to long when BTC comes back down to this support area, which is pretty much around this 105, 106,000, right? So currently right now, there are big buy orders to support Bitcoin's price around about 105, 106,000. So this is where I will look to buy, right? This is number one, right? If not, I will only look to buy either here, or if Bitcoin's price can really break above this level, above 110, right? So if you can really break above 110 to 112,000, then great. Then I'll consider to buy, after it actually breaks out above this, right? If not right now, at about 108, for example, what do you all think, guys? Is the risk to reward to go and long right now good or not good? Can you all type in the chat? Is the risk to reward to long currently right now, is this a good risk to reward to long, or is it not the best risk to reward to long? Right? Is it a good risk to reward to long or not the best? Come on, guys. I want you all to understand my brains with regards to how I think. Right? Is it a good risk to reward or not worth it? Good risk to reward or not worth it? Come on, guys. Fantastic, Andros. Mangosteen, very good. Right? It's not the best risk to reward, right? Why? Because, dude, have a look, right? So let me explain very clearly, yeah. So why? Because have a look, pretty much right in the middle, right? Like, we're not at a very good level where, we have a good support, right? And again, if you look at the charts, you can see very clearly also, right? And of course, we've not broken above this thing where there's pressure to actually fly upwards, right? So again, for me currently right now, meh, right? I'll rather wait for a retracement back down before I long. They all follow, right? And again, this is not this is not just for Bitcoin, right? Because very simply, guys, let me ask you a question. If Bitcoin happens to drop, right? If it happens to go from 108 to 105, can you all make a wild guess what will happen to every other altcoin? Can you all make a guess what will happen to every other altcoin? Every other altcoin will go up or down, right? If Bitcoin happens to drop back down to, 104,000, 100,000, for example, then what happened to all other altcoins? All other altcoins will drop also, right? Like you all know, right? Like Bitcoin can drop a bit, every other altcoin bloody hell drops like crazy, right? What the heck? Ethereum back at 2003, 2004, right? Like, that's basically what happened. So again, when Bitcoin's 110,000, that's when I, amen, I just take off my profits. Why? Because if it's at resistance, if it does drop, shit, everything's gonna drop even more, right? So that's the reason why I took off my profits and took off some of my positions on spot yesterday as well, just to get in cash in case, next week some shit happens, right? And again, there's a very big possibility because, this is very big news in the markets for next week. All right. Okay, so that's something I want to share, right? And last but not least, I'm going to share with you guys one thing. Okay, all right, last but not least, I just want to share one final thing before I actually end. Okay, one final thing before I end, and it's this. Let me just go to. Okay, so one final thing before I end, and what I want to show you guys is this, right? So I'm just comparing this. This is the chart which is comparing Bitcoin with Ethereum, right? So this is a chart that's comparing Bitcoin with Ethereum, right? So again, what I did was very simply, I put Bitcoin and I placed Bitcoin and I press compare to actually compare Bitcoin against Ethereum, right? So this is Ethereum's chart. All right, so Ethereum is the second largest, Ethereum is basically the second largest altcoin. And you guys can see, like from a yearly perspective and 1 year perspective, Bitcoin is up 80%, Ethereum is down 17%, right? And that is pretty much the fate of all altcoins, right? So if the majority of the coins that you hold on spot or whatever are altcoins, right? If you're not trading, if you're just pretty much like if you're just holding onto altcoins, right? Then if you all just have a look, right? The only coin that is up, Bitcoin is up 80%. Ethereum, which is the leader of the alts, is down 17%, right? So that is generally what we are seeing currently right now. Can this change? Yeah, sure, it might change, right? But one of the things you want to look at is this very, very important chart, right? So if you type in ETH BTC, Ethereum against Bitcoin, okay? If you type in Ethereum against Bitcoin, one of the key things we want to look out for, right? So this is the chart of Ethereum against Bitcoin, right? So ETH BTC. Can all of you type in ETH BTC in the chat for me? Right, if you guys can type in ETH BTC for me, I think that I would really appreciate it. Right. So for ETH BTC, right? If you are asking me like Resh, when will I see? When can I really expect? Altcoins to really fly? When can I expect some of my spot coins to really move, for example? The answer is very, very simple. The answer is we want to wait for Ethereum BTC to break out above this 200 EMA, right? We want to wait for this to break out above 200 EMA, and we need to see the trend go which way, guys. We need to start seeing the trend go which way. We need to start seeing the trend go on a uptrend. right? We need to start seeing the EMAs cross above. We need to start seeing Ethereum being above BTC, for example. And the moment we do really start seeing this actually cross over, that, my friends, is the time when altcoins and whatever coins you actually hold will actually fly. Unfortunately, if you all actually have a look, what's been the trend over the last couple of years? Right, this is in 2023. What's been the trend? The trend has just been, right, Ethereum against Bitcoin pretty much since, holy shit, pretty much since if I were to be really upfront, right, since 2022, it's just been on a downtrend, right? It's just been going down all the way, right? And if we were ever to see a proper altcoin recovery, then hey, we want to actually basically on a 1 year time frame, right, be able to see a crossover happen for Ethereum BTC to actually be above your 200 EMA and for it to really go up, right? And when we do see that, that is when altcoins can really run. Is that clear? Please type in C if that's clear. You all understand, right? So again, Resh, when altcoins run, refer to Ethereum BTC always. ETH is the king of altcoins, and that is basically what you want to look at to very simply determine when altcoins will really fly and go up a lot. Okay, all right. Yo, there were so many things I covered. Did y'all get value from today's session? Did y'all learn new things? Was your mind, has it been an enriching session? Please type in yes in the chat if you guys have learned a lot, if y'all have gotten value from this session. I'm just going to summarize by sharing some of the main points we talked about before we end the session, right? So the first thing that we talked about, yes, Andros, you want to see all season? ETH BTC is one of the main indicators you want to look at, right? Once Ethereum really starts going an uptrend against BTC, that is when alts will move. All right. Okay, so just to do a very quick summary in 1 minute. Next week, next Wednesday, July 9th, we have our tariff deadline actually happening, right? So it's either we come into agreement, we extend the tariff deadlines, or all the tariffs for all these countries will go up like crazy, right? So there will be huge volatility. For me personally, I shared my own personal point of view. What did I do? I see that the market's at all-time highs. It is moving too fast, too quick with regards to the NASDAQ, with regards to SPY. So I am taking profits off the table. I took profits off the table. Today, unfortunately, it's a US stock market holiday. It's Independence Day. For any US viewers watching, happy Independence Day to you, right? But yeah, today's Independence Day, market's all-time high, right? It just literally flew up. So I took my profits. And I also mentioned that, hey, the US dollar is unfortunately dropping, has broken key support levels. So I'm not just taking the profits in USD, I am converting my US dollars to Singapore dollars, having them in cash plus account money market funds, right? That's what I'm doing for now, right? Why? Because the US dollar is dropping. Who knows? Their economists and their strategists saying that the US dollar might even drop $1 to $1. Shit, right? If that happens, one of the simplest things to do for your US dollar investments when you're taking profits is to not just keep in US dollars, is to possibly shift it to other currencies, one being the Singapore dollar. All right. So that's basically what's up. And the next thing that I actually shared was with regards to CoinGlass. Right. That was something new that I shared with you guys. CoinGlass. Who's this? I'm gonna post. Do you all want me to post the link? Please type in yes to share if you want me to post the link. I can if you want me to. I think I can. All right, so if you guys want the link, Jesse, I send you the link already. All right, so you can post it in the chat for them if they want to get it. Yeah. So I shared with you guys about CoinGlass, right? So let me repost it. That's great, right? So that's CoinGlass, which I shared with you guys, right? So that's basically for you to look at where there are very clear buying orders and selling orders, right? So you guys can actually see where there are massive buying orders, selling orders. I told you all very clearly. Let's do a bit of a revision. where is there massive sell orders currently right now, right? The biggest sell orders at what level? The biggest sell orders for BTC is at what level, guys? If you all can type in the chat for me. The biggest sell orders are at roughly $110,000. Thank you very much, Lion. Right, so they're pretty much at about $110,000, which is where we were yesterday, right? And that's the reason why it actually dropped, right? So I am staying away. Right? I'm waiting for a better risk to reward before I enter any long positions. All right. So that's a quick summary of everything. Please make sure if you want to take any action after whatever I shared, feel free to do so. I hope you guys got some value. I hope you guys learned a lot. And again, guys, please have a beautiful weekend with your family. Spend some good time with family. Take care, guys. God bless. Thank you very much. I love you all. And I hope to see you all soon. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Society Carry Hope Run 2024. Got a whole bunch of guys running together with us for charity for RDSS. Let's go. Keeping health as first priority. Let's do it.
Come on!